Okay, well, I already said I lost a motor here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. But I got some problem with the mounting in the front of my motor. I comes over to this shop, and we go through all these conniptions to get it fixed, okay? Get that fixed, I go for a little test ride on, I hear a noise. Something in the primary. I open up the primary, right? So, and there's some stuff coming loose in there. So I get in there and fix it. That ain't a major big deal. So I'm all done. I'm ready to leave. Got my bike packed. I'm heading out. I hit the gate here. Bottom end of my motor goes. Now this is the first bottom end that I have ever had actually fail on me. So last night there's a guy down here, Grim. He sells used motorcycle stuff. He's got a motor, but he's going to leave in town for a week. So he says he don't really know nothing about it. He buys and sells parts. So Scott, who lives in the area, we go down, pick up the motor from Grim. So I don't know what to do. So Sean sells used parts, and so he's giving me a motor, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not because it's pretty old. And anyways, we're down in the shop picking up a motor in the middle of the night. So it's kind of like feels like we're doing a drug deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, here in the
It's
middle
an
of the
old
night.
man drug deal.
But he's got Grim Cycles over here, and he does salvage stuff. Because he got sick of working on other people's bikes.
Yeah, I prefer to ride.
I can totally dig that.
Yeah.
I get sick of working on bikes.
Well, man, 25 years I did my time, and now I'm trying to ride some.
You know what happens is when you're working, as long as you're working on your own stuff, it ain't so bad. But when you make it into a job, you start to hate it.
Well, but for years, man, I loved it, and then just over time, and then the way Harley went with their shit, I just kind of prefer the older stuff. And then,
Me too.
I'm not getting any younger, and I want to ride more, so that's kind of why I decided to make a change.
That's the problem. Mechanics don't ride.
No.
So where else did you go ride? Didn't you just tell me where was it?
Yeah, I just spent 30 days in India and northern
India.
in the Himalayas.
Northern India.
Yeah, we did about 2,000 miles in the through Ladakh and Kashmir, which is all northern India, right on the border of Tibet and Pakistan, and then flew over to.
How long were you there?
For 29 days. Yeah,
so that's a while.
Yeah. Well, then we left there and we went to northern England. I got a friend there. We picked up bikes from. We went to. Through northern England to Scotland, and then down to the ferry just north of Liverpool, and spent 9-10 days in the Isle of Man for the 100-year Manx anniversary race. So yeah, I was gone for 2 months. It was fun.
That's great.
Could never have done that if I was still
working on people's
lives. I was
lives.
working on people's shit.
I know. Anyways, let me get this shit. I'm
on.
gonna show him your your deal here.
Yeah.
Okay, these are all his bikes.
Yeah.
Because he ain't working on nobody else's no more. Right?
Yeah.
With these, you got a shovel head over there.
That's my little chopper I'm starting to work on. This is a 79 here, too, that I'm doing. And like I said, it's kind of a disaster because I've been gone
Now,
for
wait a minute.
couple months. But
now, hang on a sec.
Yeah.
Let me do this just to do it.
Okay.
Because now what you're doing is you got sick of working on everybody's bikes. You're selling parts online.
Yeah.
That's why you happen to have an engine when I need one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Orem.
Yeah,
We're just
Orem.
south of Salt Lake City.
Yep.
How do they find your stuff?
You can look up, really, right now I sell primarily on eBay under
That's what you're saying.
Salt City Parts.
Do you want to give me your phone number? Or do you just back
sure.
there?
Yeah, 801-669-8184. And then, honestly...
Say it again.
801-669-8184. And email, just chopper138@yahoo.com is the best way to get with me.
Chopper what?
Chopper138@yahoo.com. Because I'm going to be in Mexico for a month in December, and
You too?
Yeah. I'm going down for a month. Me and the wife, and we got a little place down on the beach down there, and we're going to not be here for Christmas. So
I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm hungry.
Okay, man.
All right.
Take it easy.
This is what we got. This is the place. So let's take a look. I'm gonna show this motor we got in the truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
There she is.
There it is. It's an old motor, and we're just gonna let it ride like that, and we're gonna see if I use it or not.
Yep.
Because if I do something else, Sean's gonna let me return it.
Yeah, man.
So, because he just buys and sells shit.
Yeah. If it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it's the best I could do.
You're right on.
Yeah, usually I have more of those. Just right now, that's the only one I got right now. So.
This lighting. But then today, Emery starts calling, and he gets a shop, and one of the guys that works there has one. He'll sell me. So Emery brings it up here, and I was not expecting it to be what it is.
85. Okay.
Emery found me this engine.
What's up, man? It's a hassle, but we got it.
It looks like a nice one. It doesn't look all like that.
But we found you a good one, brother.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm gonna put it in. Looks good. It's a 98, I think you said it was.
Yeah, that's good.
My motor goes at like 5 o'clock yesterday, and today I have 2 options. Well, I have 1 option. I'm not going with that one. So this is Emery and his kid. Just brung me this motor.
So, like, talk about the coolest American thing you could do is do a father-son activity helping a guy like Scotty. Stayed with us about a week. I don't know.
I'm running with that. I'll roll with that one.
Yeah, it's all good. So it's cool. You got to teach the next guys how the old guys used to get us to do stuff to be better for the world we live in.
Look at this, man. Wow. Okay, let's look at my first choice. This motor here is actually a 1984 or 85. It's an original motor. Do you know how you can tell? I just learned. And you turn it around now.
Well, you have friends that are bears.
Yeah, bears. Okay, see the 4 stars here?
Yep.
I didn't know that. That means it's a first year Evo. So it's like an 85. It's got dual plugged heads. Yep. I don't know why. Somebody's had it apart and been screwing with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got plugs back here too. Quick fix.
It's set up for a, what do they call it, a Super G, so a big, huge carburetor. And the compression ratio, the compression test on it was like 85 pounds. Rebuild's 90.
Yeah.
New, they're supposed to be like 135, I think. It's like already worn out. That's the thing that made me not want to do it. I'm like, I think it's already worn out.
Oh, this should be good. It's got new gaskets.
It looks good.
Seals.
It looks really nice.
It's a diamond.
Looking at it, it looks great.
Well, what he did is he took it out of an Evo to put a twin cam in the Evo bike.
That's what he said.
So he was like, hey, you know what, man? I think I might have something for you that will help. All the gaskets are new. Everything. I mean, like, everything's gone through.
It's a 98, I think he said it was.
Yeah, I believe he did say.
That's good. Later years on it.
Yeah, that's right.
This can work.
You sound a lot better already.
I'm really tired today. I've been on the phone all morning. Yeah, I put my phone number up on the internet yesterday, and I've been getting calls. And some guys just want to talk to me, and that's cool because I want to talk to them too.
Yeah, you're good about that.
Yeah, but it's been a lot of, hey, how are we going to get this motor? Like you. How are we going to get you a motor? And all these, I had all these different options. That's a nice one there.
I hit up a
it
bunch
looks
of locals,
great.
And
fuck.
Yeah, people responded, man. Told them what you're doing, good cause. So good.
Oh, with that, I'm going to pay for this fucking motor. You know what's good? I just came from Sturgis where I sold books. I made enough money to pay for this motor, and I mean I gotta have. Look at this thing. Now, any of you guys who've been around any of these motors, if they get much miles on them, the paint starts peeling. Look, the paint ain't even peeling. It comes with a manifold. It comes with a Bose switch. It's got an ignition in it. Give me a coil with it. It's fucking beautiful. I wasn't expecting that. Look at this. It gives me a horn with it. It gives me the rotor with it. Oil filter and stuff, I'll take that out. That don't work for my bike. It's a fucking... If the inside of it is half as good as the outside, I will be happy. I'm putting this in. I'm going to start tomorrow putting it in. It's not my first rodeo with problems of this nature. It's all part of the road game. I've watched guys come out here and try to get a bike that don't break. Guys go, get a Honda. Well, Joe got a Honda, and he got it with almost no miles on it, right? He got that thing almost new. Well, he's had it for a year or so. He just put a clutch in it, and the shock blew out. So he had to put an $800 shock in it. When you're out here using them like we do, and you've got them loaded up, and you're riding through all these weather conditions, and you're not putting them in a garage at night, you're gonna have them break. And he keeps thinking, well, I'll get something newer that won't break down, and I'll tell you what. I told him, I said, that don't work like that. You got to accept, like the rest of us, this is part of this game. One way or another, if you're out here all the time, you're going to have to fix your shit. Okay, today is Sunday. The shop's closed, and I thought I was going to get the day off, but Rick showed up, and he's like, nah, this is a good day to get started. He's the only one here. So I'm pulling this motor on the floor. So I'm just starting. And we ain't gonna move all the bikes out. They ain't made room for me on a lift. I can do it I'll do it on the floor. You know, I mean, whatever it takes. And but then we'll put the engines up on a bench when I get them up. I'm gonna take a couple things out of this motor, maybe, and put them in that one. And when I get to that part, I'll show you why I'm doing that. Some stuff I want to swap over. Okay, there it is. It's out. Now let's take a look, because I'm not just swapping them straight across. I'll show you when we get there. Okay, take a walk through the shop, past the pan heads and shovel heads and this thing wasn't really even using oil, but you never know when a bottom end's going to go out or why, really. They just kind of go. I've had it for many years, that motor. And there's my new one. Okay, now let's look at my two motors. Let's look at the inside of this. You can see it's the brown. You can see it's been around. Let's look inside of this new one. Look at that. Ain't that fucking just sweet? It's just sweet, man. Really low mileage. And I've taken the cam chest apart because for two things. One is I have a steel breather gear, in my other one. And this one came with the stock plastic one, right? Now this thing fits in this hole, and what happens is it spins. And what happens with them is over time, the plastic one wears into the case here and oblongs it. I've had it happen. So of course I'm looking at high mileage. The steel ones don't do that. This is an S&S part here, right? Okay. They tell me it's because fine metal that's in the oil, because there's always that, gets caught in the plastic. But I had one chew my case up. Now 157,000 miles I opened up. It was really chewed up. And so I wanted to put that in. These don't do that. And so so if you're going into high mileage, you really want one of those on an Evo. The other thing is the cam bearing. I wanted to see the cam bearing. And it's got the original stock cam bearing, and I'm putting in a Torrington, of course, so I will show you guys the difference in those. Okay, now the cam bearing goes in that hole there, and then the cam itself rides on it like this, something like that there, and then it all spins. So it's got this bearing in there pressed into that hole. Now the original bearing, see if I can get the light on here. Okay, you see the original bearing doesn't have very many bearings in it. It's got what they call cage that holds it in place. See the Torrington? Whoa, I can't see because I'm looking at this camera. Okay, the Torrington is what everybody uses. Those never break. You can see all it is bearings. So that is why I opened this thing up in the first place while I can. The other thing that I want is I have adjustable push rods. This thing's all stock. It had the regular solid push rods. Well, the thing about the solid push rods is if you want to get in here for any reason, which someday I will, I want to change the lifters or something if I have this motor that long. The adjustable ones, that's the things that go between here and here, right? Okay, you can take them out. With solid ones, you got to take this off, which is a real headache once it's in the bike. So I want my adjustable push rods in this. I wanted this steel breather gear, and here's the deal, the cam that's in it's a bit worn, that's been sitting on that bearing. These guys don't like it, but shop guys are perfectionists. They have to be. That's the way shops work. But this is my own bike. So they have some other cams here, so I have my choice. They have another end cam like mine, a stock one. Let's take a look at them. My choice is a small one, which is going to get me better gas mileage, and you know, it's easier on the valve train and all that. The stock one. I've got one of the mellow ones of the stock ones here, or a really beefy, I think it's an S&S cam that they have here that's in really good shape. I'll show them to you. Okay guys, let's see if you can see it. Okay, this here center one's the one that came out of it. You can see it's just showing a little wear. It's got a little wear over here too. Mechanics don't like it, and it is. Rick thinks it'll fail in a while. This one is just like it, but look at how clean it is. It's like it hasn't been used much. And then I have this, which is an S&S cam. Now the difference is, okay, you see the difference in the lobe sizes? These S&S ones are a lot bigger. So I'm really torn on that. But those are my choices. That's why I took it apart. If you ever have an Evo, you want to get into high mileage, you want to make sure you have a Torrington bearing. Everybody uses them except the factory. And you want to make sure you have a steel breather gear. Okay? And for putting them in, I'm sure you can get that from a manual. I'm not going to do a whole tech thing on how to do it and all the intricacies of that. You can find that out somewhere else. If you buy a cam, it comes with instructions, I think. So, but I'm just showing you why, instead of just putting this motor straight in, why I did that. I want to add a quick note here. I did end up using the new cam, and something that's kind of been lost in Evo history is that the gear on the cam, they make them in about 4 or 5 different sizes. Can't tell with your eye, but they're different sizes, and they're matched to the pinion gear that spins them. And when you change a cam, you want to make sure you have the right gear that goes with that pinion gear. If it's too small, it'll make a lot of noise. If it's too big, it'll break stuff. I've had it happen. I learned most of my stuff the hard way. So what everybody did, and what you want to do is, if you do get a cam, change a cam, you want to press the old gear off your old cam and press it onto your new one. That's what we did with this one, or match the pinion gear to it. Either way, just use the factory gear. They even make a tool that sets it up just right, but you can just scratch it and mark it and press it on. That's what we did with this one. Okay, now Rick's like doing stuff the right way, which I don't know how to do. I've done this stuff, but I'm like paying attention and learning. I've learned a lot of stuff this way from guys, you know, I know. But he's like,
Good to learn.
Knows more than me, obviously, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You don't do it like that. He's got like the right tools and the right gauges. He's doing shit like, we're putting this cam chest together. Okay, now he put it together once and then took it apart and did these measurements. And now we're putting it together the second time, and he wants me to put the Loctite on it and button it up. And I'm trying to tell him
Well,
that
we're still going to check.
we're going to check anyway. But that's not the way you do this. The way you do it is, you put it in there, and then, because I check it with a feeler gauge. He's got some special tool. And then when it's wrong, you take it apart, and you put another thing in there, another spacer, different size. And you put it back together, and you keep doing that.
But it's not going to be wrong.
Until you accidentally get it right. That's the right way to do it. He's like, did it once, and then measured it, did all this math, and like, oh, these parts should work, because there's spacers going in there. Right? And the different thicknesses, they're different for each motor. So you got to set them up individually. So he's kind of fucking me up with this. Well, here we sit in front of my old motor, and I'm going to tell you what I think took it out. Because the thing is screwed up all through it. It sounds like it has a bottom end problem. Rick stuck a scope in the back cylinder, and it's all scratched up. It's screwed up inside. The front one seems to be okay. The cam compartment has issues, so I've never had one do this before. But I think I figured out what caused the problem, and it's a pretty common problem to these. Okay, now this is the pinion shaft, which just means it comes off the motor. This is the one that's turning, and it's turning these other things. This thing has rods that go up into the top. They go up like that, and they have to be pushed up and down. For those of you who don't know how all this works, I'm not going to bother with that, but those have to go up and down to make the thing work. What makes them go up and down, these are just little magnets, tools to hold the lifters in place, is the cam, okay? Notice the way the cam has these egg-shaped lobes on it. So when it spins, it hits these wheels here that I'm going to show you in a sec, and pushes them up and down in the lifter blocks. Those are lifters. This is a lifter block. Pushes them up and down by hitting them with them lobes when the thing spins. Okay? So, what I think took this motor out, let's take a look here. Okay. I took the bolts out of this already. These Evos have replaceable lifter blocks. Okay. So, what happens with these things is they got these guys that roll up and down on that cam. Okay? And the problem you get with them, which is a big Evo problem, is this little wheel has needle bearings in it. And when the needle bearings break, it drops metal into your cam compartment. If you catch it right away, you can get in there and fix it. I've caught them before just by the sound. There's a sound they make. I'm going to tell you guys what that is, okay? But I believe that one of them broke. This one here. Okay, see the way the wheel moves around and up and down. It doesn't look to me like the bearings came out of it, though, does it? You can see it's marred up. What do you think?
Might have turned to dust in there.
Turned to dust.
Yeah, they're no longer needle bearings. They're just like.
But it should flop open. So it's kind of a mystery. The wheel ain't round anymore either. It's fucking kind of squared out. Look at that. It's all weird.
Skid City.
Skid, yeah, you'd think it would have been making some kind of noise. Okay, so the problem with these things is that if the wheel breaks and the little bearings fall out of it, they fall into here, and then they usually wreck the cam, which this one's got problems on it. And then the metal goes down in here, and then it gets picked up by the oil pump, and then on an Evo it goes to the oil filter. On a twin cam, it's a little different. And if you keep riding it, it takes out your whole motor. They tell me the twin cams don't have this problem as much, right? But they still have it. Twin cams get it as much as this one?
Lifters fail.
Lifters fail, just like on this. They have different looking lifters on them. Lifter wheels. But when the wheels break, here's the deal. When they break, you got to stop the bike. You got to shut the fucking motor off. Don't try to get that last 5 or 10 miles home or whatever it is. Get a truck. Get a ride in there because it'll cost you your motor. Okay, so what the symptoms are is when a lifter, if you have lifter noise or valve noise in your bike, and it comes and goes, even if like you're riding on a hot day, going up a hill or whatever, and it, all of a sudden your valves get real loud, if they get quiet again, fucking ignore it. It doesn't matter, okay? When a wheel breaks, generally the symptom is you get a ticking, a loud one tick, 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 tick. Instead of all that valve clatter noise down there, you get tick, tick, tick. You get it when it's cold. You get it when you start it. You get it when it's hot. You get it when it's revved up. You get it when it's slow. It's constant. You get that noise, you want to take your lifter blocks off immediately and check the wheels. See if you can get one that's moving, because it's an expensive thing to not do. And the thing I had with this was I had no lifter noise. The valve sounded normal. Rick heard him. He didn't hear it either. It was running out here. But something went through here because there's metal all through the oil and the rear cylinder's fucked up. We think the bottom end's screwed up. And the lifter wheels, some guys say change them at, I think Harley says 35,000 miles or something like that. I say at 100,000. The only other one I ever had break completely was the first one ever went on me. I didn't even know that it was a thing at the time. But it went at 157,000 miles. But I ride easy and I had a stock cam. The beefier cams, you know, hit these wheels a little harder. If you're hot rodding a lot, you might want to change them more often. My take on it is 100,000 miles. Because they're expensive. A set of lifters is expensive. And then you'll want to... These were expensive lifters I put in it too. These were fucking fueling and they didn't last very long. I'm really surprised at that. And anyways, I just want to show you guys about your Evo cam chest if you want to go for high mileage. What I know about it. The twin cams lose the wheels too. So they have wheels on there just like this. They just look a little different. So, but we're going to go into the house and check out dinner with my hosts, okay? See? That's the shop door. And that's the gate. And then this place is full of crackheads and fentanyl freaks. I ain't never seen nothing like it. So let's go in the house. See what we got. There you go. Oh, there's the place. I think it was more of a garage or something else that they've converted into a house. Yeah, look at the door here. Look at the sliding door, right? Ah, they live in a garage. Yeah, nice shower though, I'll tell you that much. Great shower. Oh, the greeting committee.
Oh, sorry.
I want you in my video.
No, I don't want to be in the video. Get yourself a plate.
I know you don't want to be in the video, so we're gonna make sure that you're in the video.
Hi. Thank you.
I just wanted to show dinner here, you know. Yeah.
Fucking dinner.
Dinner it is.
Dinner.
I'm not super hungry tonight, so I'm not gonna pig out like last night.
Dude, get your hunger on.
You better be hungry, damn it. I don't like leftovers.
I'll try. I'll do my best there, Ma.
Well, thank you, sweetie. And you are more than welcome to all you can eat.
Downstairs.
You guys want to go downstairs?
Yeah, we're going downstairs.
Thank you.
Pop some shit in there.
Yeah, trying to be, you know, chivalry and all that stuff. To the living room. Maybe we'll watch something funky again. So why do I act like such an idiot and do this rather than just like buying new bikes and all that? A couple things. One of them is money, for sure. But the other thing is there's a certain amount of satisfaction in putting something together like this. And then especially if it works, then it's really fun. It's like anything you build with your own hands, whether it's a porch or a piece of clothing or whatever it is. I can't explain that, right? There's a certain amount of satisfaction in that. And the other thing is when I started riding Harleys, which was really the later 80s, everybody I knew worked on their own bikes. This is how it was done. And so maybe I'm just stuck in my ways. My stuff broke and my friends would tell me how to fix it, or they would help me. Or first time the valves went out in my old Sportster, that's 1974 Sportster. The thing sat in a little shed I had for 2 weeks. And a friend of mine said to me one day, he said, just because you're afraid of it, don't let that stop you from tearing into it. And I thought he was right. And so I went out there, took some wrenches. I'm like 20-something years old, and I pulled it apart. And as I started pulling it apart, I was like, you know, this thing's really simply made. You know, these things are very simple inside as far as machines go. You still got to know, you know, you still got to like have a little mechanical ability, which mine's okay. A lot of these guys, theirs is much better. But so anyways, there's a bunch of satisfaction, and this here has been just a wonderful adventure. This whole thing here. Oh, I hate this part. Don't you? Are you ready? Oh shit.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna film and spot you.
How you gonna film?
Like one-handed, because only one-handed will spot you.
Oh,
I'll grab the crank once you get up in there.
Oh, can film that spot.
Multitasking. Your eye on the back. There we go. Need to
Where
kick
am I at?
this
High on
way.
the back?
There you go. There you go. Beauty. We got to lower the jack down.
Bring the jack down
Yep.
some.
I got the motor. A little more. Hanging up.
this?
Oh, I see
is
what
that?
I see what we got hanging up.
Something's hanging up. Wiring.
There you go.
Well, that seems better, doesn't it? It looks more righter.
It's a little squampus right now. We got
A little squampus. One of the things I'm doing is replacing the front pulley on the belt drive. Now the pulleys wear out with the belts. This one's been put together piecemeal. The rear pulley is aluminum, but it's coated with a hard coating casing on it, like a chrome or something they put on it. And when they get older, that stuff starts to chip off. And it's okay if it chips off, but it's when the little bumps start changing shape that's when you need to get another one. The aftermarket ones, like some of these $450 pulleys, don't have the hard casing on them. They wear out in 10,000 miles. I've seen it over and over again. The ones they put on these choppers and stuff. So you want to go with the stock ones on that. It's your best bet if you want them to last, because they last over 100,000. So anyway, my front pulley's a little bit worn, and I'll show you how to tell. And I could run it a while longer, but I happen to be at the shop. It takes a special tool to replace it. And so while I'm here, I got another one, and I'm going to show it to you. And I'm also going to show you one thing that's important. I'm not doing a how-to on all this job. I'm just telling you guys some of the weak points. Okay, now, here's my old pulley. These bumps begin to turn square. They begin to, can you see they're beginning to get square? And they should be round. You can see that, huh? Yeah. They're certainly not the worst one I've ever seen. The new one, of course, they're just round all the way down because it's new. So they don't have that squared off thing going on. So I could have run this longer, but I just happen to be at the shop where I can change it right now. And it will probably last me a couple of belts if I have this bike that long. I like this bike, I'd like to keep it, but it is wearing out underneath me. But the thing I wanted to show you is that whenever you change a pulley, there is a piece behind it that gets leaking, and you want to always change that while you're in there. And I'm going to show you what it is. This is where the pulley goes on to, obviously. Okay? Behind it, there is a piece like this, a little spacer guy, that goes into between where that seal is. That's the way they build it. I don't build these things. What happens is the rubber wears a groove into this, believe it or not, into the metal, and it begins to leak. Now I learned this the hard way because I put a new belt drive on with a new pulley, and within a month of it, it was leaking from behind the pulley. And so I learned about this. So last time when I put this pulley on, I got one of these spacers made by Baker. Baker claims their stuff is case hardened steel, and it won't do that. Well, it's starting to do that. This is the one that Baker gave me, but it's still good. I still could run it. Just that Nick happens to have one back there that he gave me, which is another Baker one. So I'm going to put the new one in with the new seals. Okay, but I'm going to show you this one to you. Okay, this one you can just see where the seal wears on it. I don't think it's too bad. Nick don't like it, but these guys are always perfectionists. And since I have a new one, or not Nick, but Rick, since I have a new one, I'm putting it in. So, whenever you change the front pulley, whenever you take it off, you want to look at this thing, and you probably need to change it. I'm just going to rub a little bit of oil on this puppy, just to make it go in easier. Some used oil here. Okay? And with all this new, there's two seals. There's this one and the quad seal behind it. And I'm just going to push it in. Okay, and it's done. So that's something you want to know about whenever you do a front pulley. Change, I don't know what you call this spacer. Change it, change the seals. It's a hard place to get to, so just do it while you're in there. So for the pulleys, right, you have this big nut that holds the pulley on, and you've got to have one of these. There's no other way to do it. And all that stuff's in the book. What I'm showing you guys is stuff that may not be in the book. That's common, that's unusual common problems. So unexpectedly, Rick's daughter brought me breakfast.
Making their treasures. Loki was not
should have recorded that.
But he
Isn't that
needed to
sweet?
make sure that Brock
Definitely looks better with a motor in it. I mean, for looks. I'll probably get chicks this way with a motor. I think I got a better chance.
That's the only chance.
Thanks a lot, pal.
Well, you know, you say, hey, you want to push me on a Harley? They're going to fuck you right now.
Push my bike. Yeah. I have to look for the beefy ones.
Buffalo gals.
Ain't I gonna put some red Loctite on those things?
In a second.
In a second. For those of you who's never done this before, I mean, you'd have to look at manual. I'm not gonna do a whole engine swap video on every detail. But The motor and the transmission are separate. They bolt together in the back. Now, especially on these Evos, I don't know about the twin cams. You got to line them up with the primary? You don't, because they bolt to the back of each other. On these, you hook everything up loose, and what makes it all straight is this inner primary. So you got to get that on, and you got to play with it until it all lines up. Right? This piece here straightens it all out. I got lots of other stuff to do. I got to hook up these oil lines. I got to hook up the ignition, whatever else. I got to put that coil back in. I've got plenty left to do here. That's tedious. I'm not in the mood for this shit today, so the hooking up these oil lines, I'm like a little more excited about, you know. Put in all new oil lines, which was Rick's idea. I probably wouldn't have, but he's like, oh yeah, he's got the oil line, just kind of do it, you know. He's just like, mine are pretty crusty. Were pretty crusty. They really were. I know. I just didn't want to do it. So I got this beautiful motor in this old rust bucket. Is that thing illegal?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a fucking it's for burning weeds.
Yeah. For burning weeds, huh? Is that what it's really for? It's a flamethrower.
No, it's a fucking long-range incendiary device.
A long-range incendiary device.
Yeah, it's a weed burner.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A weed burner. Yeah, I've heard of such things.
I don't know if
Never.
I can use the weed burner in the city, though. That's the thing. I really don't know.
All right, we're going to see how this new motor is. I've already had it running, so I didn't film the startup. But it seems to be in really good shape, and like I'm all packed up, and I've been living in this parking lot for about a week. And here goes.
Finally leaving. What a good day. What a good day.
Sounds like $1 million. This motor is like really fucking nice.
Oh yeah, real smooth.
It's running real good. Anyways, I'm out of here.
It's over. Bye.
By the end of this thing, I had put in a new motor, as you saw, a cam, breather, gear, and Torrington bearing, as was in the video. I also put in a psychoelectric stator, a new stator, and I used the rotor off the new motor, and which was better than mine, and those motor braces that you saw in the video. I put in a primary chain. The old one was really shot out. Now the chain rides on sprockets. One of the sprockets is attached to the clutch, and you can't replace it. So I put in an entire clutch, which the shop just happened to have one in their takeoff parts room and gave it to me because they were the same one as mine, only younger. So I put that on. Also, there was a stack of clutch plates there, and Rick mic'd them, and then we just took the best ones out of them, and I put in new friction. Well, I used the steel plates too. So I put in new clutch plates, new used clutch plates, all new oil lines, because Rick suggested that, and he was right. And I don't remember what else. But at the end of this thing, the entire cost come out to about $1,800. Now, of that, I want to thank Johnny, you know who you are, guys who contributed some to help with some of the financial offset of this, which I didn't ask. I want everybody to know these guys, it was their own thing. Anyway, which is true. Johnny for sure, because he really helped out with this motor. Wolf, who came by and spent a lot of time visiting, who I would have liked to include it in the video, but the video was too long anyway. And there was another guy who I don't know his name who come by. I want to thank all you guys. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next video.